Hey guys, okay, so this is gonna be me starting off my YouTube stuff. I look like crap right now. I am literally just wanted to get this and go. I'm gonna do, for my first video right now, is I'm gonna be doing a story time video. I was told about this story a lot, and I don't know why, but it's something that I didn't believe at first, and then I kind of started believing. It was about my friend. She told me about her life story and all that nonsense and how she was babysitting. And when she went to this one house, I'm going to change the names. I'm not going to literally say the real names because that is personal and stuff like that. But I'm gonna say this little girl that she was babysitting, I'm gonna call her Maria. And literally she was only 6 years old, and she was telling stories that you would not believe. And my friend looked at me and she was like, what do I do? Like, there's so much stuff going on. There's like things getting thrown and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, is she throwing stuff or something like that? So she put video cameras all along the house, definitely in the little girl's room. And like, she made it so she can save it and she can just stay there and do her thing. And so she was downstairs one night, and she noticed that she looked outside the front door, and she didn't really look around the house. She just wanted to get into the house and go and start babysitting, because the child's mom had to go to work at 6 a.m. till literally like almost 1 a.m. the next morning, maybe 3. Like, some days it depends. And so she was just babysitting this night, and she had to stay there until like 4 a.m. in the morning, and she got there the day before at 6 a.m. So she was there pretty much for almost 24 hours, if you think of it. And so she's there just sitting on the couch watching Supernatural, and then it stopped and she was like, never mind, and she was watching Family Guy. And so she's just sitting there watching, the kids up in bed sleeping, and she hears this big loud thud, and she goes running upstairs. And literally, like, she just looks around and there's nothing there. And she signs, like, she's like, what was that? Like, I'm scared. And she checks out the baby, because there's a baby there too. And she's like, okay, well, nothing's wrong. Nothing's moved. Nothing's going on. And so after that, she goes back downstairs and she grabs a drink and she just sits there. She said after that thud, she could not sleep. Like, she checked the whole house. She just did not want to sleep after she heard that thud. And so she's just sitting there, and then she hears little taps on the floor, like someone's walking on it upstairs. And so she just sits there for a minute, and she's trying to think, like, what's going on. And all you hear is the door slam. So she starts running upstairs, thinking like maybe something's in the house. And she goes upstairs and she looks just directly at the little girl's room. And there she is, just standing there. And she just looks at her and she's like, are you okay? Like, did you fall or anything? And all you hear from the little girl is, no, but my friend did. And she looks at the little girl, your friend? Where's your friend? And she's like, behind you. And like, she was holding back her flip out because she didn't know how to react to this. This is her first time in 4 years of babysitting, right? And like, this is what's going on with her. And so she just looks at the little girl, okay, well, why don't you bring your friend and go back to bed? It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, sweetheart. And so all you hear from Maria is, okay, come on, let's go. You heard the babysitter. And she literally felt and heard the little footsteps on the stairs behind her and felt a cold breeze go past her. And she literally did not know how to react. Like, she was just so scared and did not know how to, like, tell the mother of the baby, like, of the kids. And so she goes and double checks on the baby and everything like that, and everything's fine. And she goes back downstairs, and she's catching this all on cam too, so she has proof. And so she just goes back downstairs and sits there, watches more Family Guy, and she hears a scream. Just this loud, awful scream. So she runs upstairs, and she runs into Maria's room, and Maria is there and has blood all over her bed. And she's flipping out. She grabs Maria and runs out, goes into the tub and cleans her off and checking her for cuts and bruises and all that. And there's no cuts or bruises on Maria whatsoever. She tells Maria to go into her brother's room and stay there. So she goes into Maria's room and checks all around there, and there's nothing there. And then she's just all like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And everything like that. And so all you see is her turn slowly around to go back to the kids, and this big black shadow crosses the wall. And she looks at the camera to make sure it was aiming at that area, and she froze though, but just stared there. And like, she was like, oh my gosh. And like, she just ran. She didn't care that the shadow was in that hallway. She just ran to the kids. And she literally stayed in that room with the kids, and she was holding the baby, and Maria was like, they're okay. They're my friends. They're not gonna hurt me. I help them. And she just looks and is like, what do you mean you help them? They tell me to do things and I do it for them. So she got all worried, and like, she was like, what type of things is she talking about? Like, is there stuff that she's not telling people, and like trying to act like there's nothing wrong? And is she's just saying this to seem like it's okay? But then you just keep asking and asking her questions, and she gets more worse. And she looks at you and says, if you want to ask questions, you gotta talk to my master. And she looks at her and says, who's your master? And all the little girl says is the devil. And her heart just froze. Just literally froze. And once she said the devil, all the lights turned off. The doors all around them slammed shut. They were literally freaking out. And this little girl said, he's mad now. I told you. And so I'm like, when she's telling me this, I am like, she's only 6. Like, what's going on? But like, that's all that was going on. Like, she was just going like that and saying stuff like that. And I literally just, my mouth just dropped. I didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to say when my friend told me this. But that's how her story ends, is that she said he was mad because she told me. Like, that's all she said at the end. And I'm like, well, did anything else happen once you said he was mad and the doors slam and the lights go off? She's like, no. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, this is, like, crazy. Like, I didn't know how to react. I believe, but I did not know how to react because she's 6 years old with a 1-month-old brother. And she's saying all this stuff. And, like, it's something that a 6-year-old will not do normally. Like, how does she know about all this? How does she do this? Like, she's only 6. Like, that's not a normal speaking way for a 6-year-old. Like, you get what I mean? Like, usually 6-year-olds, they like playing with Barbies, coloring and stuff like that. But no, this girl would stay in her room playing with her dolls and her imaginary friend and talk about blood, talk about death, and all this stuff that a kid's not supposed to be getting. And all she said to the mother was, your daughter's talking this way. And the mother's like, yeah, I know. She's getting mental help and they can't figure out what's wrong with her. Bipolar is negative, schizophrenia is negative, and all this other stuff. So she just left it be. She hasn't babysat them in forever now. And, like, she just left it. She just said, like, no, that is crazy. Like, no. And I haven't heard a thing about that story ever again. Like, she's just so scared to talk about it. And I would understand why. Like, it would be scary. But I want to tell you guys now, like, I believe big time once she showed me those videos and all that. I wish I had them because I would post them and I would show you the pictures and everything, but I don't have them and it's boring not to have them. But yeah. So anyways, I'll be making more story time videos if you guys like. Please don't forget to like this lovely video if you guys love it. Just hit that thumbs up button, and if you really want to hear more from me, just hit that red subscribe button and I'll be back with more story times and more ideas for videos. If you guys have any ideas too for videos, just comment below. I love you all and bye.